Hey, hey. Good morning, people. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. It's Friday. It's Friday. Been a few days since I was on here, huh? I'm on spring break this week, so I've been sleeping in. Giving my brain a little bit of a rest before the market opens. I've been just kind of chilling. Still been trading because we still gonna do that. We're still gonna do that, but I didn't do YouTube on Wednesday. I was all set. I won't say I overslept, but I woke up later than usual on Wednesday because I stayed up late on Tuesday. So when it got morning time and time for me to really get up and come on to the screen, my brain was like, not today, babe. We chilling. So I hung in. I did what I needed to do for my community. I put up numbers and all the stuff I would normally provide for them in the morning. And then I took my time because Wednesday was FOMC day. So I knew I wasn't trading first thing in the morning. I had some 1DTEs. I was testing and I still am, but I'm thinking I don't call it testing anymore. Well, I'm kind of still testing. I'm testing the high IV events. I'm really testing that. Good morning, Lisa. I'm testing doing my 1DTEs in high volatility events like FOMC and OPEX or when PPI and CPI. So I'm checking those to see how does the 1DTE hold up in high IV. So that's what I did. I did have that on for FOMC and FOMC day. The price just melted down all day. There was some opportunities though. I mean, if I was trading it, I definitely saw a nice little breakout to the downside and it continued on down to the downside. So people in my community who traded SPX through the day, they did call credit spreads all day and made nice little piece of change. Usually the FOMC is a lot more vicious as far as the pops and drops. Really what happened Wednesday was it just dropped and dropped and dropped some more. Yeah, I'm a fan of my 1DTEs. So those will continue to be around. Those will continue to be something we do. And for those of you who can't trade during the day, if you can't trade during the day, but you want to put on a trade at the end of the day that will close the next morning, that's your plan with the 1DTEs. And all you do is what I do is just set the close order and let time do its thing. Generally, when the market opens, one side of it is ready to close and the other side may take a little more time, but sometimes the other one closes in the first hour or so. Sometimes it takes a little longer in the day. So I will keep doing that in my membership. That's one of the things we do in the membership is I provide those alerts. I provide 0 DTE alerts during the day, and then I provide the 1 DTE. Actually, we do 1s, 2s, 4s, 5s. I do trades that are out even further. I do those as well. So but 0 DTE is our primary thing, but that's not all we do. That's not all we do. Hey, Tanya. Nope, that's not all we do. We do the multiple DTEs as well, right? So let's look at what's been happening in the market. Currently, SPX is at 65.88. SPX is currently at 65.88. And the VIX is at 24.74. The VIX is at 24.74. So, definitely. Let me go grab this real quick and then we'll move on to see what did SPX do? What did SPX do? Let me go in here. Yep. Okay, so SPX yesterday. Let me get a bigger time frame so we can have a little less data on the screen. This was yesterday. And oh my, I was so shocked. Is that what I want to close off? I want to close off that. There we go. I left home yesterday around 1:30 to go get my hair done. And I was, sitting there kind of look on my phone. I had tried to close. I wanted to make sure I closed everything before I started getting my hair done, really, because I knew I wouldn't be focused on it. And I flipped over to the screen to make sure that all my trades were closed. And the next thing I know, I saw this right here. Well, what happened was I had one trade that hadn't closed yet, and it was set to close at like $5 or something. And when I looked back at it, it was worth like 200. And I was like, wait, because it had been worth like 15. And then it popped up to 200. And I was like, well, what is going on? Then I went to the chart real quick and saw all this foolery right here. 3 o'clock. 3 o'clock, this bad boy popped from 65.92, so below 6,600, all the way up to the high here was 66.36. It ran to this it really is less than 30 minutes because I know I'm gonna look at the 15. This is a 15-minute chart. It really did that move in 15 minutes and then started to pull back. Then it started to pull back. Let me take VIX off here because we don't really need VIX to be over here taking up real estate on the screen. All right. It popped up and I had closed off my call credit spreads. This was the gap. This gap is from earlier this month, I believe. But I had told the folks in our community, in my community, I said, go ahead and close those call credit spreads. No, this actually was November 21st to 22nd. I said, sorry, 21st to the 24th. That was that particular gap that was still sitting and waiting. But I told my folks, I said, go ahead and close those call credit spreads because price had been down here. So while price was down low, I was telling them, because I knew, that's how we function. We price can't get up here. We got call credit spreads up in here, right? So we would have things like, we had things like 66.10, 15, CCS. We had things like 66.20.25. Now, I'm going to tell you what I did, though. I had also told the community earlier in the day. I said, if you are thinking about going on top, y'all can say, yes, you're right. I said, if you are thinking about going on top of thinking of call credit spreads, I suggested that you would go above the gap. I said, if you're going to go up to the top, I would suggest you get above 66.30. Anybody in the chat say, yes, that's what happened? Because it's definitely what happened. I can post a screenshot. It was like 11 something in the morning. I said, if you're going to get a call credit spread, go above 66.30. I said that like in this window of time, right? Almost where this is located. I said, if you're going to get something, get it above the gap. But price stayed down here. So also, even though I said that, I also went and did, after a little bit of time passed, I was like, oh, 66.10 might be fine. So I did 66.10. I did it maybe a little later after I saw that price was staying down and wasn't even coming back into this gap. Then next thing you know, you got this pop. So I had to use me a PDT hack real quick. I had to PDT hack it for 250. Right. So it was a loss of like $160. I think I had taken in maybe 85 for it. And then I PDT hacked it for 250. This is where that PDT hack comes in handy when you are trying to avoid a max loss. Now, it turns out price closed at 66.06. So the trade ultimately would have expired worthless. But it went up to 66.36. That's a full breach. And a full breach, according to my risk management, is it's time to shut that mug down. Shut it down, especially because last week at 3 o'clock, an announcement came out and the market ran 60 points in one direction and did not pull back. So, yeah, that's very recent history. And I had flashbacks. So I was like, no. So anyway, I closed that real quick. And again, you see price pull back. You see how price pulled back off of it. But again, my trade would have been fine, but I didn't know that at the time. At 3 o'clock, I didn't know that because we're in power hour. Power hour generally picks a direction and keeps pushing in that direction. This pop was a little drastic. It definitely gave news. These kind of pops that are real drastic like this are a lot of times are news driven. Definitely was news driven. This one happened to be as well. But then it pulled back. Many times it doesn't pull back like this. So I was not waiting around to see. Again, and I was getting my hair done. So I was not like, I didn't have all my screens. I didn't have all my stuff that I could use to gauge what's happening. I'm on the phone, jumping back and forth between things. And yeah, no, that's just not the time. So I closed it and I didn't have to do much mitigating because my 1 DTEs had already closed. And I had a few other trades that would put credit spread. So it ended up, working itself out. But there was that. That's what happened yesterday. So this gap here, which, the gap that was here from November, I can now take it off the chart. I can now take this gap off the chart because it is a field and it was filled during regular market hours. Once a gap is filled during regular hours, which SPX doesn't really have any aftermarket hours anyway, but once a gap is filled during regular market hours like this one, this gap got filled, I can take it off. This gap here got filled, I can take it off. There's still a gap up here, looks like. Yep. This gap is from the 17th of March, which was Tuesday, to Wednesday. This gap was Tuesday to Wednesday, and it's still there. Price it's jumped down from here, and it hadn't gone back up there in order to take care of that gap. So we have that one, and we have the gap here from 67.40 up to 67.74. That was from the 11th to the 12th. That gap is still there as well. At this point, this is closed up. Now we'll see what happens today. Okay, we'll see what kind of stuff we get going today. Which price I told you is a little bit below 6,600, which 6,600 I'm going to show you is going to play. 6,600 is going to kind of keep us pinned in. So when I say pinned in, I'll show you what I'm talking about. Anyway, let's talk about what's going on. Stock future slide as Trump said to eye the card takeover. I thought they bombed it. Carg Island, right? Let's see, now they're going to take it over. Let me refresh this, see if a new headline has popped up since I was waiting. Nope. The major gauges are on track for losing week as Mideast attacks keep investors on edge. Yep. Iran keeps striking the Gulf as Israel pledges to spare energy sites. Supermicro sinks as co-founder charged with sending AI tech to China. Oh, come on, SMCI dude. Why would you send AI tech to China? Anyway, how the Strait of Hormuz closure is roiling the auto sector. $200 billion for the war in Iran. Trump calls it a small price to pay. Why U.S. airlines are less worried by the Iran war than overseas peers. Robo-taxi players have wildly different problems, but the same goal. Wall Street faces a $5.7 trillion triple witching jolt on Friday. That's today. That is today. Okay, so that's what we got from Yahoo Finance. Let's go to CNBC. As far as our futures go, Dow futures, S&P futures, NASDAQ futures, all red. Everybody red. Stock futures tick lower as S&P heads for the fourth losing week in a row amid high oil prices. U.S. 10-year bonds are green. Oil is at 95, so it's down a little bit because it had topped 100, right? Europe is all green over there. European stocks sink as oil rises and investors bet on the rate hikes. Even though they're all green, it says they drop. Asia Pacific markets mostly decline as Iran war dents risk sentiment. Only thing that's green over there is the Nifty 50. Crypto, Bitcoin is at 70, Ethereum 21.38, Solana 89, Dogecoin 0.09, XRP is unchanged. Let's look at the metals. Gold is up 46.72, silver, platinum, palladium. Copper is the only one that's down. Gold set for third weekly fall on hawkish U.S. Fed elevated and the elevated dollar. Okay, let me see if there's any news, any headlines we need. U.S. says Cuba is prohibited from taking Russian oil as 2 tankers head to the island. How are you prohibited? But we got stuff on the way. Trump invokes emergency powers with $23 billion in Gulf arms sales as Iran war wages on. Okay. Stock futures tick lower. S&P fourth losing week. Brent rises beyond 110, even as U.S. considers lifting sanctions on some Iranian oil. Buy Chevron as its Middle East exposure is lower than Exxon's. Exxon is the ticker. XOM is the ticker. Stocks making the biggest move this morning is York Space Systems. Never heard of them. Supermicro Computer and Planet Labs. I never heard of York Space Systems. That's what's happening, the biggest moves this morning, okay? As far as meetings go, nothing is on the schedule for Friday. As far as Forex Factory goes, nothing is here. Powell is supposed to speak tomorrow at 1:30, probably at some kind of conference. That's what Forex Factory has. Let's see what investing.com has. They don't have nothing on their schedule, except for we always have the oil rig counts, and those things always happen. So that's the only thing that's over on investing.com as well. We got all the other stuff. Triple witching is happening, quad witching, whichever you want to call it. Bonds, weeklies, monthlies, quarterlies, all the things, futures, all the stuff is expiring today. So there's a lot. You can expect volatility. You can expect volatility in the morning as positions get reset, and then things should level off. And you trade what you see. As usual, trade what you see. I personally would wait till after 10 to place any trades as far as direction, unless you're trying to just scalp it. But give S&P a chance to settle and give you a direction before you jump in too far, too fast, okay? Give the S&P a chance to settle down before, because there's lots of orders that are set. Okay, so as far as earnings go, yesterday we had FedEx. There's York Space Systems. FedEx had earnings yesterday. Planet, Firefly, Somebody Generation, Grow Generation, IntelliCheck, Torrid, York Space Systems, ElectroCore, Gemini, and Eton. Don't know what York Space Systems does. Anybody know what York Space Systems does? I don't know. This morning we had Xpeng, XPEV, Milestone, Bitfufu, Ermenegildo, and Westwater. Okay. This is my what is this? My LinkedIn channel, my LinkedIn page. If you are on LinkedIn, go ahead and give me a follow. I'd appreciate it. There's good content over there. Great content, different kind of content shows up on LinkedIn because it can be more long form, and you can do more articles and more things over on LinkedIn than you would on a Facebook page. This is my free page here, E2T-freebies, www.e2t-freebies.com. Yeah, you can go and get all the free stuff that I have over here. You can go and grab you some free stuff if you're interested there. I'm going to come back to the charts in a minute. Let me go and show what Adam had to say first. And then I'll be back. Okay. Adam says yesterday was all about 65.71. It held 6 or 7 times, and we ran to 66.06, 66.38, 36 for us, I think. Bonus target, it popped. Ooh, 2 hours ago, we got another perfect fail breakdown per 4 p.m. newsletter. Traps to 65.60 were actionable. We got it and ran to 65.88. The plan today, 65.71 on the, put these on your charts. 65.71 is support. 65.95, 66.11, 66.24 are up next. These are the things that are up next. If 65.71 fails, then you dip to 65.60 and 65.40. Okay, 65.71 is support. Gives you room, runway to 65.95, 66.11, 66.24. We got to bump back across 6,600. If 65.71 fails, then we dip to 65.60 and 65.40. The difference between ES and SPX is 52 points now. We're on a new, I think we're on the June nomenclature. So the gap has now expanded, and it's 52 points. If you're trading XSP, 654 to 663 is your XSP range. If you're trading XSP, okay. I wanted to share with y'all. I wanted to thank you. And if you didn't, if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. But over 475,000 views, over 15,000 subscribers. Yeah, y'all come on and subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks for joining. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Thanks, and thanks. Because, this is what I do. This is what y'all do. I talk, you listen. Yeah, so this happened on March the 9th. Actually, I put it on my other social media channels, but I hadn't mentioned it on here. But I wanted to say thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Yes, thank you all for watching and hanging out with me and my antics. I do appreciate it. I really, really do. All right, let's go back to the chart first before I swing back to that. Okay. All righty. Here we are together. Let's go look at SPY. I'll do SPX last, but right before we land the plane. Okay, so not on the day. Well, we can look at the daily and then we can go down from there. SPY closed yesterday at 659.80. It closed at 659.80. It's currently at 656.57. So it's down about $3. SPY is down about $3 in the pre-market. Okay. I don't think I marked. Maybe I thought I had marked this gap, but it looks like it is unmarked. So let's get it. And then this one here, the same one from November that I told you all about, it can be taken off the chart because that gap has been filled. Okay. I don't know if there's any more down here. Nope, that's not a gap. Filled. There's something down here. Let me grab it and bring it over. This is a gap down in 650 from 650 40 all the way up to 650 67. It's a small one, but it is still down here. And this S&P 500 like to clean up. It likes to clean up what it messed up. So just know that down in the right above 650 or at 650 and some change, there is a gap down here that does need a fill-in. Okay. All right, let's look at pre-market. What kind of action jackson have we had? Let me think. I turn it on to extended so I can see what happens here. And let's turn off VWAP. There we go. There we go. Okay, so SPY kind of get a little more of a pop after the market closed, and then the pre-market it dipped all the way down to 653.19, and then it has made a recovery back to the 656. Okay, so it went down as low as 653. Again, I will say that this is probably one of those days. First of all, Fridays are bananas. All by themselves, Fridays are bananas. Okay? Let me preface all of this with that. Fridays can be stupid, period. You add in it being OPEX and first quarter ending, quad witching, all the things, and it's just an opportunity for stuff to go left. So if you're going to trade, which we are going to live trade together a little bit, me and my community are going to get on the horn and do a little bit together. I can't stay very long because I've got some errands to run, but we are going to get on there today and see what we see. But listen, this is another good day to watch. Like FOMC was a day to watch Wednesday. Today is another good day to watch and preserve your capital. If you've got your capital, you've made your money for the week, it's a good day to preserve. Now, if you need to, mitigate some previous losses from this week, then if you're going to trade today, just trade wisely, trade lightly. Trade wisely and trade lightly. Okay? All right, that's what we're going to do. This is Triple Q. Triple Q closed yesterday at 592, and it's currently at 590.93. So it's down. It's down just a bit. Down just a bit. Okay. IWM. Let's go see what they're talking about. What was that? What was that? What was that? Anyway, I don't know what that was. IWM, come on, show up on the screen. There we go. IWM closed at 247 yesterday, currently at 246.81. So it's kind of still in the zone. Close to where it was when it closed yesterday, not too far away, down about $1, down about $1, a little bit less than $1. Okay, that's IWM. Let me go to the daily chart. I didn't look at the daily chart on Triple Q either, but let me go. Closed up this gap here. Come on, there we go. There's a little bitty one down here in the 240s. From 240.39, some change to 240.07. It's very small, very, very small, but it's here nonetheless. It's a gap nonetheless. See if I see anything that jumps out at us. This was a lot of momentum back when we got into this same space in November. This was the same range we're in right now. This is what it looked like in November. A lot of green, a lot of buying happened back here when we were in the same area price-wise. There was a lot of upwards movement in November. Perhaps that will be a way that price will maybe do some of the same thing. Maybe it did yesterday. Grabbed here and ran nice. It was a green day on IWM yesterday. I'm going back to SPX. Now what I'm going to bring into the chat. Where is you? Is this it? Yes, it is. Coming to the stage is Gamma. Gamma. And I know if you're looking on something dark, you may have to brighten your screen or whatever and make it nice and bright. But this is the GEX for Gamma exposure for SPX based on open interest today. You can see here that the put wall is 6,600 and the call wall is actually, both of them are at the same place. The put wall and the call wall are both at 6,600. Kind of weird, but it's what it is. The spot price, 66.06. 66.06 is where the price was last night when price closed. It closed at 66.06. The volatility trigger is at 66.70. Okay, you see several reds here. 6,600 is means that price got to get through there basically. And according to where we were, we're underneath this 6,600. But as the day progresses, it's probably going to want to climb on out of there. Again, we're going to trade what you see. Trade what you see. Okay, this is SPX 500 currently at 65.91. So opening, we're what, and 30 minutes away. Opening just below the 6,600, which it bopped across yesterday. It could bop back across today. You know, it can go on back. It's actually been up there today. Yeah, this is today. It's actually 60. It's been across 6,600 already today. Well, the ES has taken us above it. Oh, I did. Well, how many minutes? Oh, that's 30 minutes. Okay. From the close of yesterday to the day, we've been up, but now we're bumping right into, that's a 200 period moving average on the 30-minute chart. I want to see where where it is on the daily chart. I keep hearing people say that SPX is very close to the 200 period moving average on the daily chart, but when I go to the chart, I don't see that. But it's bumped into it a couple times. As far as this black one is the 200 period moving average. I'm going to go to the daily and see if I can see that same thing. Yeah, now if we, okay, so this is the daily chart. 200 period moving average is this black one, and we are, according to SPX 500, below it. Now let's just go to SPX and see where it is in reference. I'll pardon all the lines. Y'all know how this goes. Yeah, we're below the 200, but below. 200 period moving average definitely is going to play ceiling. And that is at 67.80. We've been below it. I'm not sure why people were saying we were looking to be below it. Like, we've been below it now, look like a week. Since the 10th, it closed below the 200 period moving average on the 6th of March. It popped back up right to it, then couldn't go through. And then it's closed below it every day since. Every day since then. We definitely is in call credit spread land, huh? 200 period moving average. This is the 100 and the 200 are basically seem to be running together. Let me go up here and check this. Let me go checker. Okay, so the red one is the red one and the black are the two I'm looking at, right? Red one is 200. Okay, there we go. The red one is the 200 and the black one is the 100. There we are. But the red and the black are running. Why do they seem like they're running concurrent? That's not the way that's supposed to be doing. Something's going on with that indicator because it's not supposed to look like that. That is not how that's supposed to be. Let me go to another window because now I'm curious. I want to know what's on your mind. I'm curious. Okay, so the 200 period moving average is black over here. Let me go to SPX. Okay, show it. Turn off some stuff so it don't get confusing in here. Okay, so the daily chart, I'm on SPX and I want to be on the daily chart. There we go. Yeah, that other one, I got to go and adjust that because I've been relying on that. Why are you not acting right? I don't like that. I'm going to take you off because the 200 period moving average is where we are, and it did not close below it yesterday. It did not close below it yesterday. It dipped, baby, dipped. It dipped below it and came right on back. Came right on back. But you do see that all of the moving averages are pointing downward. The 200 period is currently at 65.95. is the 200 period moving average, and price closed above it yesterday. I'm gonna have to fix that over on my other. I've been using that one as my main moving averages, and you are not giving. What is the deal? I have to use the one I'm using here. It's got enough, got the same ones, but these are exponential. I believe they're exponentials. Either way, the current price of SPX is below the 200-day moving average, but the close yesterday was above it. Okay. Y'all see how they tried to fool you, girl? We are not having it. Okay. I shared with you Gamma. I shared with you SPX. That's where we are with that. I talked about all of that. So let's talk other things. Again, I've already told you how you should like handle today, because today is Friday. First of all, it's Friday, and Fridays can be Fridaying, and you want to make sure that you are right. Okay. And I'm not saying this so you don't trade from a fearful standpoint. I'm saying this because it's wisdom. It could be wisdom to say, well, I'm gonna chill out and trade if you like. I mean, trade light or whatever, or don't. We get to trade. We don't got to trade. You get to trade. So if you see some opportunity, then go on and go for it. Otherwise, enjoy your Friday. It's a little cool here. It's 49 degrees here in Florida, 50 degrees. What the world? It's time to be warm. March 20th, it's time to be warm in Florida. What are you doing at 50 degrees? Okay, so the entire strategy that I use, I have captured it into this SPX Seller Mastery. I've captured it there. So and it comes with a playbook, which basically is the strategy written down. It comes with both of these. It tells you when to get in, when not to get in, what to do before you get in, how do you do risk management, how do you size, how do you grow, how do you combine, how do you compound the money. All those things are included in this, and you can get it over at we spoiled, and you can get it over at my website, educator2trader.com, which is where all of my stuff is. Okay, membership, I was just talking about how we do all these things together in the membership: alerts, learning, trading together, live trading. We just do all the stuff. I'm there to teach and coach and train and guide, and we meet at least once a week on with training and such. You learn charting. How do we manage SPX et al? How do we do all these things? So that's in the membership. If you're interested in joining us over there, feel free to go to www. Nope, that's not where I want to go. www.e2t.trading. The link, I believe, is on there. You can also see it right on educator2trader.com. Always can find everything I do at educator2trader.com. And while I'm talking about that, please don't get dragged into stuff that is not me. All right. I'm not doing nothing with Rocket Man and none of this stuff. I'm doing copy trading, but I'm not trading your money. I'm not telling anybody to deposit their money with me so that I can do the trading for you. No. I'm not asking you to put anything in no special broker per se. Tradier is what we're using for copy trading. I'm trading my money. Your account is holding your money. And when you're copy trading, I place a trade, your account automatically places the same trade. I'm not asking anybody to make a deposit into my account so I can trade your money and give you the resources back. Oh, no. Oh, hellish no. I am not doing that. No. Copy trading is pressure enough. Okay. Copy trading. If you want to see what that's all about, you've got a Q&A video that I did that you can see exactly what the questions you might have for copy trading, what that includes, what it is you need to do. At least $2,500 you should do in copy trading for every unit you want to trade. People do multiple units, at least 2,500. You're going to need to deposit that in Tradier, and you're going to need to get the subscription with Peakbot. That's the way it works. I'm the lead trader, but I'm really contracted to Peakbot. All righty. There's that. If you want to check that out, you can go find this video on my YouTube channel. All righty, let's go on to our declaration. We're about 10 minutes past the hour. That'll give you 15 good minutes to woo-saw, get yourself together, go get your coffee, get back to the seat so that when I start live trading, you'll be here. Okay. I declare I'm a great trader, a successful trader, and a focused trader. I declare my wins exceed my losses and my account is growing steadily. I am a wise and knowledgeable trader. I have a strategy that I use for my trades. I don't randomly place trades. I'm a level-headed trader who trades my plan and not my emotions. This is a daily declaration that you should have something you say to yourself and to the atmosphere about your trading. You are a good trader. You are successful. You are making profits. You have a plan and you follow it. Yes, all those things. Okay. Here we go. Our prayer. Lord, it's you who gives us the power to get wealth. Help us today to trade our strategy with wisdom and knowledge. Allow us to prosper enough to have what we need and enough to bless others in Jesus' name. Hopefully that's what you're doing, is blessing others and not just hoarding it all for yourself, right? When you grow, the things around you ought to grow. When you grow, the things around you ought to grow. You ought to be able to bless some people and be a help when there is necessary help. You ought to say, well, I'll pray about it. Well, sometimes the prayer is that you help. Pray and help. You can do the prayer too. But now also keep that in mind that, you know, the need will consume the gift. So there's always more need necessary than there is a gift. But when you feel prompted to help and to assist, you should. If you don't get that, then don't do it, because there are people who are obviously out here to take advantage. So you got to let your discernment kick in as to when to help and who to help. All right. But be help. Okay. Even though, don't say I'm not helping nobody because people scam. Everybody's not a scam. Some people have an actual need, and you could be the answer to their issue. Okay. All righty. Okay, everybody. We're going to do 2 things, maybe 3 things today. Yeah. We're going to, number 1, we're going to stay green. Number 2, we're going to get this money. And number 3, we're going to have a great green day. All right. For my folks, I'll see y'all in the Zoom room. For the rest of you, I will see you in the market. Bye.